Go overseas, and the new video released by Hamas of an Israeli-American hostage who was severely injured in the October 7th attacks. His parents are now responding and will join us live in just a few moments. But first, let's go to our foreign correspondent, Tom Supi-Burge, in Jerusalem. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, Hersh Goldberg-Polin, who was born in California, seen for the first time in captivity in Gaza. The 23-year-old speaking under duress into camera in a Hamas video, saying he's being held in, quote, hell underground.
Shalom. קוראים לי הירש גולדברג-פולין.
This morning, more than 200 days after the world saw American-Israeli hostage Hersh Goldberg-Polin, with his arm badly injured, put in the back of a pickup truck and taken into Gaza. The first clear proof he survived that deadly attack.
נולדתי בשלישי לעשירי שנת 2000 בקליפורניה.
Hersh sitting upright, appearing under duress, with a shaven head and missing part of his left arm, blown off on October 7th when terrorists threw grenades into a shelter when he was trying to evade capture. Hersh addressing the camera in Hebrew, saying, Mum, Dad, Libby and Orly, I love you very much. I miss you very much. And I think of you every day that I'm here. I need you to stay strong for me and not stop fighting. Hersh also demanding the Israeli government do everything in its power to set him free. His parents wanting the world to watch that video.
We're relieved to see him alive, but we are also concerned about his health and well-being, as well as that of all of the other hostages and all of those suffering in this region.
Hersh, if you can hear this, we heard your voice today for the first time in 201 days. And if you can hear us, I am telling you, we are telling you, we love you, stay strong, survive.
The video of Hersh spurring his supporters onto the streets. Protesters clashing with police overnight near Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's residence.
Well, protesters are out on the streets tonight in Jerusalem. They're blocking the road. You can see the police are trying to drive them back. These people want a deal to set the hostages free.
It's thought around 100 hostages are still being held in Gaza. Hersh, one of 5 Americans. And guys, right now, those hostage and ceasefire negotiations appear to have stalled. And in fact, the Israeli military has made advanced preparations to try and move hundreds of thousands of civilians out of Rafah in southern Gaza, with the Israeli government approving a ground offensive on what it says is Hamas's last stronghold there in the coming weeks. George?
Okay, Tom, thanks very much. I want to hear it now from Hersh's parents. John Polin, his father, is joining us right now. And John, I know it must be very hard to summarize, but tell us what you were thinking and feeling as you saw that video for the first time.
Sure. Good morning, George. Total mix of emotions. First and foremost, just huge sense of relief and gratitude to both see him and hear him. Something about that multisensory was really overwhelming. He's alive. Assuming this video is current, which we believe it is, he's alive. The flip side of that is we as parents know our son better than anybody, and we see a level of distress. We see some things that concern us about his health, not only obviously his arm that we knew was blown off. And so for us, we've already been fighting for 202 days at this point for his release and the release of all the hostages. It's fueled us even more. We need everybody involved in these negotiations to lean in, get this done, get these people home.
What else did you see that gave you signals about his health?
Hersh is really thin. He's always been really thin. He's one of those kids who has tried to gain weight and struggled. I know a lot of people in the world wish they had that problem. And he looked kind of puffy in the video. There was like a swelling that concerned us around his face, his neck, his shoulders. We don't know. We don't know if that's true, what it might be from. But it causes us a little bit of a concern. We've talked to a few doctors who have said that it could perhaps be a form of edema, could be a form of low-protein diet. But you know, there are some things that we see that cause concern, and like I said, further fuel us to get Hersh and the 132 other Hershes, each of whom has families fighting for them. We got to get them home.
Rachel Goldberg, Hersh's mom, is joining us as well. Rachel, we just heard John talk about his reaction to the video. What was yours?
I mean, it was extremely emotional, lots of tears. To be honest, I wasn't even listening to the content. I was just hearing my only son's voice and seeing him moved and trying to look into his eyes, and any parent, and anyone who has parents can imagine after 201 days, more than half a year of doubt and fear and angst and trauma, to have that, it was very bittersweet. And it was truly overwhelming.
I can imagine. Had you had any assurance before you saw the video that he was indeed alive?
Well, we had been told by our intelligence officer, who's been with us since the beginning, that the families where it is known that their loved one is tragically not alive have been contacted, and also the families where there's a high suspicion that their loved one is not alive has been contacted. And so she is always saying to us every day that we have no news is good news. So the working assumption was, please, hopefully, let's be optimistic that he's alive. But this obviously was much different than sort of a working assumption.
John, what else can you tell us about your contacts with the American and the Israeli government?
So we continue to say that the American government, the Biden administration, Congress, people from both sides of the aisle have been incredibly supportive of us and of all of the Americans who are held. There are currently 8 Americans still being held. We get updates from the administration. Their doors are open to us. Every few weeks, we're either there in meetings in person or on Zoom. So the support has been really, really remarkable. The Israelis are deeper into things, obviously. Our updates tend to be a little bit more tactical. I don't need to say that it is such a complex situation, but it feels like so many people in the region on all sides are just tired of the trauma that we've all been under since the 7th of October. And hopefully at this point, we can get all of the parties to really just go in a room, lock themselves in there, and not come out until we have a deal to release our 133 hostages and to reduce the pressure all over the region.
We all share that hope. Finally, Rachel, what is your message to Hirsch and all of our viewers?
Well, to Hirsch, every single day, many times a day, I'm always saying to him, we love you, stay strong, survive. We love you, stay strong, survive. And I definitely, more than ever, after seeing him and seeing that he is clearly medically compromised, medically fragile, that is my continued plea to him, to his soul, to hear me, and to people who are watching this to remember that there are 133 Hirsches. Every single person there has a family, has a life, has dreams, has aspirations. And when we think of them as one number or one monolithic group, we do them a disservice. These are people from 25 different nations. There are Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, and it's an age range. The youngest is now a year and a half old, which is tragic that Kfir Bibas has spent so much of his childhood in captivity. And the oldest is an 86-year-old grandfather. We must remember these people. They are human beings, and we must get them out. No matter what it takes, no matter who you are, this could be your son, this could be your grandfather, this could be your daughter, your sister, your spouse, and it's time.
Those are very powerful words. We love you, stay strong, and survive. Thank you for joining us this morning.